The row over post-Brexit fishing rights between France and Britain is coming to a head, with the UK government saying it's not working towards a deadline set by the EU Commission and ending today to resolve the issue. French fishermen, meanwhile, are caught between a rock and a hard place.
In November, French fishers temporarily blocked 3 channel ports, including key hub Calais, disrupting cross-channel ferry traffic for several hours. The fishers say Britain is still not honouring a post-Brexit deal to allow them to fish in UK waters if they can prove they fished there in the past. They claim the UK has refused to recognise fishing operations not validated by GPS. But many of the operators have no GPS and use paper logbooks instead. Their applications were rejected. We are leading these actions for the remaining licenses that have not arrived. There are 150 missing for the French. We want to show the British that we are fed up with always being pushed around. Next week, they say, but we have had enough, and here we are taking action. The November protests were not confined to the sea. Parallel to the Calais blockade, fishers also prevented road freight from entering the Eurotunnel, causing long tailbacks for a while. Though short, the protests sent a clear message that there's plenty of scope for disruption if the UK doesn't finally ease its position on fishing licenses.
Let's get more on this from DW correspondent Lisa Lewis in Paris. Lisa, a deadline given by the EU to resolve the issue is ending today, and the UK government says we don't care about any deadlines. How worked up is the French government about this?
The French are very angry about the whole row, really. They're saying, if the UK doesn't act, there's still about 100 licenses lacking, and 1,000 licenses have been given out to French fishermen. So the French government says, if you don't give us the remaining licenses, we will take other action. We will block British vessels from shoring and coming to French ports and selling their fish there. We will block lorries coming over to sell their fish. We will increase our security checks. They're even threatening to revise the amount of electricity they are sending to the UK. And the French government is also saying that they're planning on addressing the Partnership Council, that is a UK-EU committee supposed to oversee the implementation of the Brexit treaty, so the treaty with which the UK has left the European Union. Mind you, the British side is also threatening to go to that Partnership Council and impose sanctions on the French. So it's a very heated discussion indeed on both sides.
Lisa, how likely is it that these countermeasures will really be put in place between, and you mentioned it, 2 nations that used to be EU partners?
Absolutely. Well, it's a heated row, but it's very political. If you look at the economic side of things, fishing only represents 1.0% of the British GDP. But the British government is using this row to show that they are standing their ground in front of the EU, especially the French. And France is using this to show, we're not letting them off the hook easily. Leaving the EU is not an easy thing. Obviously, the French president, Emmanuel Macron, is looking ahead to the looming presidential elections in about 4 months, and he wants to show that he defends Europe. When it comes down to the details, though, it's very likely that both sides will try to find a compromise. The French government has even said that if there are, in the end, still some fishermen that are lacking licenses, that the French government will put money on the table. They're talking about 40 to 60 million euros. So it looks like both sides know that they will not get 100% of what they're asking for.
And Lisa, speaking of the fishermen, what impact has this dispute been having on the French fishing industry?
Well, as I said, there are about 100 licenses that are lacking. So what's happening, really, what fishermen have been explaining to me is that, lots of fish, that comes to French waters to actually breed there, but then once the fish is grown, they leave to go to UK waters, and the fishermen have been telling me that now these coming months are very crucial for them actually in the UK waters. So if they can't go to UK waters because they're lacking a license, they're losing most of their income. And they're really saying if we can't use these few months ahead of us, then we're likely to go bankrupt. We're talking about 100 licenses, but the French government has said that each license, each fisherman represents about 3 or 4 jobs on land, so maybe about 500 jobs. The French government is ready to jump in, but many of these fishermen have been fishing all their lives and for generations, actually. So it will have a huge impact on them.
Lisa Lewis in Paris, thank you.